Hey guys, it's Heather from Central Virginia, and welcome to Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening, or welcome back. Glad to see you guys, and I have been very busy out front, and I want to show you what I've been working on. It's kind of like spring cleanup, but I've been doing a lot of other little projects. For example, transplanted a camellia because the deer were just demolishing it, and we're going to plant some new variety of poppy seed. It's a little bit late, but I think we can get away with it. And doing some pruning of ground roses and a lot of other things. So I hope you'll stay tuned today. Come outside with me and see what we've been doing. Before we get started, let's look at where I'm coming from. So this was about 3-ish weeks ago. You can see everything is just in disarray, overgrown, brown. There's leaves that I left all fall and winter. Tons of stuff that needs to get cut back. Even Jeffrey the cat was afraid to be in this area. It just looks so horrible. So I knew I had a lot of tackling of big bushes like that firethorn that was just mangly and overgrown. So I got busy over the last couple weeks. It wasn't all at once. I'd do 1 hour one day, 30 minutes the next, an hour 3 days later. But I have gotten to the point where this bed is looking better. And here we are, the cleanup. My husband declined to be on camera, but he did help me trim both of our sky pencils, which did not get done last year because of birds nesting. And then I had to clean up all the debris from that and all the old leaves. And I just hid it under some cardboard and then wetted it, mulched it, got rid of those. And then it was time to tackle that lemon balm, which is completely overgrown. I've been meaning to pull this out for the last couple years. Learn my lesson with lemon balm. The ground roses will need to be done as well. You can see I found a praying mantis cocoon. And what are we looking at here? Okay, so this is after I cut back the lemon balm. And then I did do a major trimming on the firethorn. You can see what it looked like before I started. And it is prickly. You have to wear like thorn-proof gloves. It is a deer deterrent, but it's very hard to work with. I did relocate that planter, but first I had to take out the broccoli that was growing in it and a few other things. You can see I'm making progress. Still need to prune out those roses, the ground roses. So this one I just threw to the deer. You can see it got a little bit too much frost damage. It was already starting to flower. You can see the pattern in the broccoli, but it was a gorgeous purple color. That one had not started to head up, so I relocated that one over to the raised bed area. And 2 of the purple bok choys I was able to relocate, and all of the parsley. Parsley does have a taproot, but it was so young, it transplanted well. Okay, let's see, where are we? I did transplant that sedum there, and it looks like I'm getting ready to tackle maybe the lemon balm. Oh, I transplanted one of those shrubs from the other side of the yard into that container. And then I realized, that camellia has had a lot of deer damage. They've been munching and munching. So I'm going to relocate him during this cleanup process to the backyard. And I've got a lot of growth here on the very edge of the house. I did not weed this whole bed last year at all, so it's really out of control. But you're going to see there's lots of good things growing, like the money plant. There was a mess underneath that firethorn, including this poor abelia that was just being weighted down with that firethorn. And so now I'm going to dig up the roots of the lemon balm. This took me at least, 2 sessions of digging and digging. The lemon balm roots are really, really tough and strong, and they go down deep. You can see I've got a whole bag here of them. Not sure what I'm going to do with them. I could grow some more if I wanted to, but I don't think I do. I have plenty, and you'll see that here soon, what I do with some. And there was some even growing around the camellia. So now we got to think about the snapdragons that are in these planters with the ground roses. And look, there's lots of baby seedlings. They're so microscopic. If you've ever grown snapdragon from seed, the seeds are microscopic. The little seedlings are so tiny, but I'm actually going to try to transfer them as well. And yep, got a lot of work to do. Definitely had to wear my gloves and a coat when working on these ground roses. They are so prickly and just painful. So once I move that camellia, we're going to put that abelia right in that spot. And here's a view of me digging up the camellia. They have very shallow, sensitive roots. So even though you see this on fast forward, I took my time. I was very gentle, very, very gentle. And then I dug a hole for the abelia. And there it is. It will be so much happier in this new location. And I think we're going to go take a peek at the camellia in the backyard here in a second as well. I did fertilize that abelia before I put it into the ground and mulched it. You can see the finished product there. And now we're going to move to the backyard and put this camellia in a container in my camellia garden area. This is the time of year when the camellias are glorious, and I just love it in the evening to walk around and look at them. You can see there's a nice pretty red one there in bloom, but we'll have a separate video coming up on that. So another night or two later, I snuck out while the food was in the oven for dinner, planted some black radishes after I cleaned up the planters in this section. And you can see all of the lemon balm is gone. I hope. I'm sure there's still some roots down in there. And once I transfer the Snapdragons, we're going to plant calendula with the Snapdragons. I think that'll be pretty. And I did get a few transplanted before it was completely dark that night. And it's the next morning, and you can see I transplanted more of the Snapdragons. So we're going to move on to the roses now. And I was reminding you, don't forget, sterilize your pruners when you're working with roses. You can see some of those little Snapdragon seedlings are transplanted. And I did leave lemon balm with the ground roses. That is the only place I'm going to keep it in this bed. You can see there's lots of brown on the ground roses. All of this is going to get pruned out. You'll see that in a second. It'll just magically disappear after I prune it. And definitely don't forget, you got to protect yourself from those thorns. You can get tetanus from thorn pricks from roses. And here's some more Snapdragon seedlings I found. And look at the difference after pruning. The crown down at the bottom is open. I took off all the dead stuff. I did minimal length pruning on these. You don't have to prune a ground rose like you do one of your tea hybrids, but you do want to prune it to shape, and you do want to clean up all that dead growth. Something that bugged me all summer last year was the color of the Snapdragon that was in the container with the ground roses. It was 2 shades of red, and they didn't go well together. So I dug up some of my Chantilly bronze Snapdragons from the backyard and put into those containers. And now there will still be Snapdragons with the ground roses, but it'll be a complementary color. And so I'm just showing you some of the cleanup work here and how things are progressing. I saved a few of these rooted Snapdragons here that I'm going to relocate to a new bed that I'm working on. And I'm just showing you how Snapdragons will grow upright when they are leaning. And now we got to tackle this horrible mess on the corner. You can see there's tons of leaves and just debris and old growth that needs to get cut out, but lots of little things that need to be kept, and then lots of weeds, of course, too. And I'm going to show you a horrible, horrible plant right here. This is heavenly bamboo. This will kill songbirds if they eat the berries. It is very toxic. You don't want it around your pets. I spent about 3 or 4 years trying to remove it from this bed. The first year, it was like a 4 or 5 day process to dig and dig and dig. And every now and then, I'll still get some sprouts from the roots that were left behind years ago. But definitely pull it. I'm showing you some other things I found while cleaning up this bed. There's some good stuff right there. But you can see the deer have been eating my tulips. And here we go. Here is a very far along progress on this whole cleanup expedition, if you want to call it that. I still need to get back on the side of the house there and work on the azaleas after they bloom. You want to prune those after they've bloomed. I can't even talk today. I'm going to prune them and fertilize after they bloom, and then I'll mulch that area, weed it, and so forth. But here we are getting to almost the finale of what I want this bed to look like. I'm leaving all the good stuff. I haven't decided, should I relocate this yarrow? And there are a few more patches of lemon balm to take out here before I finish the mulching. But that's it for this video, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great gardening week. Bye.